Hi dear IGCSE students, and as always I wish you the best in these circumstances. I wish, like most of you or many of you, still motivated and doing your work to be ready for your tasks. Alright, we started the first 4 questions in the paper 4 variant 2 2019 for October-November. It takes time because I'm explaining in details, so it took time. So I'll be doing each lesson some questions to avoid long lessons, like at most 25 to 30 minutes. So we'll be doing questions 5, 6, 7 for today. They will complete it tomorrow, inshallah, as well. So we did the first 4 questions in the previous lesson, so we'll continue with question 5. It's about graphing functions. You are familiar with these questions, just to make sure for more practice and revision. Question 5. The table shows some values in the equation y is equal to the function x squared over 2 plus y 1 over x squared minus 2 over x, and you are given the table. Part A, he wants to complete the table. To complete the table, we substitute or replace these values using the calculator, of course, into y here. To replace with every x, we'll be getting the values. They are easy 3 marks. Part B, he wants from us to draw the graph of this equation. Only you'll be plotting these points like I did in black, like you see here in black. Don't make them big to waste not required space. So you plot the values. So this is -3, 5.3, and look at the scale well to avoid mistake. These are easy 5 marks. You have to take them fully. -1, 3.5. Notice that 3 to 4 is 5 units. Each one is 0.2. Each one of these is 0.2. Then I did continue plotting, finishing with 3.9, the last one, which is here. This is 3.9. Then you buy a pencil. This must be done by a pencil, sharp pencil. Buy a pencil. That I did it in red color, in red. So you draw the graph, and pay attention that when we have this area given, means the 2 parts of the graph are split. They don't intersect. It's disconnected graph. It is discontinuous graph. So we finish with this value 17.8. Then you start new from 0.215, which is this. You finish. Part C, use the graph to solve x squared over 2 plus, which is the given one. This is the given one, which is y less than or equal to 0. You look at the graph, dear students. What do you mean by less than 0? The x-axis here is y equals 0. So the area or the region under the x-axis, it's greater than or equal to 0, which is shaded in blue. I shaded in blue here, this one. In blue here, I'm shading it again in blue. So you look all the 2 values like I did to you. It's not, of course, since this is a curve, so it depends on the student how he graphs, how he draws the graph. So you accept range. According to my graph, it's almost 0.55, finishing with 1.4. But we may accept, examiners accept range, like I wrote to you here. According to my graph, these are the values according to my hand graph, according to me. Because this is a curve, so it will be different from student to another. So these values, these ranges are accepted. From 0.5 to 0.6 to 1.3 to 1.6. Why this? Because this curve here, when the student draws the curve, he may go up from like this, for example. I will delete this now, just I'm showing you. He may do this and still almost accepted, but this is accurate that I did. So try your best to be neat and accurate when you draw the graph. Part D, find the smallest positive integer. These questions are easy, but read them well. Find the smallest positive integer, value of k, for which the value of y is equal to k has two solutions. What does this mean? When we say this y equals to k, we mean horizontal line, dear students. Horizontal line. Y equals something. This is the meaning by y equals k. Then you back to the graph, you look. What's the smallest integer here? You start here is the smallest value. I'll do it in black to help you from here. Which is not integer, it's almost minus 0.3 or negative 0.3. Move up, this is y equals 0. It's an integer, yes. But he wants positive integer. So the first positive integer is 1. The smallest integer that intersects with the graph with 2 points. This means that this k, y equals k, which is 1, intersects the graph given with 2 points. So it has two solutions. Y equals 1, you will have two solutions. So you just write k equals 1. Sometimes he asks us about range of values of k between two values, but in here he wants the smallest one. The smallest one is 1 in this question. Part E, by drawing suitable straight line, solve. Again, he gives you y, the given in the question, is equal to this one. So what do you have to do? You sketch or you draw the line y equals 3x plus 1. We are free here, we can do small table with 2 points, or we may use x and y intercept, depends on us. So I did choose two values, minus 1 or negative 1 and 1. Replace them in the line, you will get y is equal to negative 2 and 4. So you have 2 points here, negative 1 and 1, and negative and 1, 4. Negative 1, negative 2. Let me write them just neatly. First point is negative 1, negative 2. The second one is 1, 4. You plot them like we did here on the graph. Then you match between them. So this is 1, 4, and this is negative 1, negative 2. When we see solve, means this line will intersect, will meet the graph with this point. With this point, you go from it to the x-axis. So this is the point that the solution, the value of x that solves this equation using the graph, which is 0.4. Now again, according to how the student draws the graph, so the examiner will accept a range. The range. But here we don't accept anything. The range, it's between 0.3 according to the nature of this graph. So a student may do this more curved, this area, he may do it more curved, this one, like this. So they may intersect at almost 0.3, not before 0.3. But not 0.5, it's far from 0.5. 0.5 is a point in the graph. So it will be between 0.3 to 0.45, 48, 49 is okay, but not 0.5. Part 2 from the part E, the last part, the equation x squared, which is y over 2 plus 1 over x squared minus 2 over equals to 3x plus 1, can be written in this form. Can be written as this, equals to 0. X to the power of 4 plus a x cubed plus b x squared plus cx plus 2 is equal to 0. How can we do this? And a, b, and c are constants or numbers. We have many ways to do this, but the easiest one, like I taught my specific students and I'm reminding you again, we multiply the whole equation by the lowest common denominator, the lowest common multiple of the denominator, lowest or least common denominator, which is what? 2x and x squared, which is 2x squared. So you multiply each term in this equation by 2x squared. Just multiply, expand. You will get 2x squared times the first term equals to 2x squared times 3x plus 2x squared plus times 1, 2x squared. Then you simplify. 2 with 2 will be gone. So you will have x to the power of 4 for the first term. X squared with x squared will cancel each other or cancelled out, plus 2 minus 4x. 2 times 2 is 4. X squared over x is x, is equal to 2 times 3 is 6x cubed plus 2x squared. Then you will be adding or subtracting, or according to your language, between quotations, I'm like raising my hands. Yes, moving these to the other side, that we don't like this word, if you remember, moving. So this will be minus 6x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x plus 2 equals to 0. So you look at the first and the last term, they meet. What does he want? X squared and 2, x to the power 4 and 2. So you look on, you compare what does he want. A, which is the coefficient of x cubed, which is negative 6. This is A, this is B, this is C. Just to write them, A is equal to negative 6, B is equal to negative 2, C is equal to negative 4. This is considered one of the challenging problems in graphs. The students claim, or they say, when you read the question well, they are not like challenging anymore. All right. Question 6. You are given a triangle ABC as shown. The angle CAB, or the angle A, 79 degrees. AC is 8. AB is 13. This straightforward question for these parts. Use cosine rule, especially he's telling you what to do. He's telling you which rule you are using or you will be using. Use the cosine rule to calculate BC. Of course, if he doesn't say, you must know by yourself, dear extended student. Why? Because remember, and please watch the videos in trigonometry especially from 3 or 4 until 9. Here I reminded you in Pythagoras, all of the cases of solving triangles. So you are given two sides and angle enclosed between them, so it's cosine rule. So BC squared that he wants is equal to AC squared plus AB squared minus 2 times AC times AB times cosine between them. So BC squared is equal 8 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 8 times 13 times cosine 79. You'll get 193.3. Then you square root the answer, getting the value or the length of BC. And he told you in part 2 even, use the sine rule to calculate the angle ACB, which is the angle C in this question. Remember, the skills are important. When you find a known, label it, label it on the diagram given. So sine the angle C now. Why we can use sine rule now? We have opposite angle, we have the side opposite to it. We have known angle and we know the side now opposite to it. So sine rule. Sine rule. Sine C over AB is equal to sine 79 over BC. Since we found BC, we'll be replacing it here. By cross multiply, sine C is equal to 13 sine 79 over 13.9. Then you do shift sign the answer, sine inverse this answer, you will get the angle ACB. The angle ACB, which is 66.6 degrees. Part B, it's a combined problem between trigonometry and algebra. You are given the triangle DEF, where DE is x plus 4 centimeters and EF is 4x minus 5 meters as shown in the diagram. And you are given the area of the triangle is 70 meters squared. Show that 4x squared plus 11x minus 300 is equal to 0. These questions we have to read them well. From where? He wants from us to show that using this information, dear students. Only here, what must I remember? Only I must remember R4, remember, we are familiar with this notation now. Using trigonometry, finding the area of the triangle. I reminded you here, if we have two sides, angle between them, the area of the triangle is half times the first side, the second side, times the angle, sine the angle between them, enclosed between them. So only that I'll be doing here. This area of the angle triangle DEF is equal to half times the first side, x plus 4, times 4x minus 5, times sine 30, which is the angle between them, is equal to 70. In the calculator, sine 30 is half as well. So we have 2 times 2 in the denominator, which is 4. By cross multiply, 70 times 4 is 280. Just do minus 280 to the other side, you'll get the answer. These questions from, of course, A to A star or B to A star students, because of this topic is only extended. Most of students, according to statistics, they leave this question empty because they don't blank, because they don't understand what. Show that using this information, dear students. Always the questions come like this. So write the formula, the area of the triangle is equal to 70, simplify, expand, you'll get the result that he wants. Second part is easier, of course. Use the quadratic formula to solve this equation that we just showed. Show you're working. When you say show you're working, means you write the formula is better. Write the values of A and B and C in the formula. X is equal to minus B or negative V plus minus B squared minus 4AC under the square root, dividing by 2A. Just replace B by its value, A by its value, C by its value in the formula. We'll be getting two values in the calculator. He wants to correct this to 2 decimal places. Just go round or correct this to 2 decimal places. You'll get the answers. According to what we did in part 2, he wants to find DE. Why? Because DE is in terms of X. We found X here, but we have two values of X. But we do We show this, be careful here. We have to show this here. Both must be shown. But in the next part, you don't use this. You neglect it in part 3. Because DE is the length of the shape, so the length could not be negative. So only you will be using the positive value of x, the positive answer. So D is equal to x plus 4, just replace x by 7.39 plus 4, which is 11.39 or 11.4 to 3 significant figures. The next and the last question for today, it's about functions. You are given 3 functions. F of x equals 7 minus 2x. G of x is equal to 10 over x. Of course, we write this x could not be 0 or must not equal 0. Don't let this confuse you. This is a condition, restriction, because we, in the denominator, could not be 0. We cannot divide by 0. We can't. Because of that, we, as examiners or mathematicians, we put it. X should not be 0. H of x is equal to 27 to the power of x. Part A, find f of negative 3. This is straightforward part. F of negative 3 means you replace x equals negative 3 in f. So negative 3 times negative 2, 6 plus 7 is 13. H g of 30, which is its composite after g of 30, composition of functions. H g of 30 means h of g of 30. So you find g of 30 first by replacing 30 in g, which is 10 over 30, which is third. Then h of third, you just replace x by third. In the calculator, of course, you want to show this step is better, is equal to 3. Find f inverse of x. We have 3 steps, like we did this in previous paper and in the classroom. Y is equal to 7. We replace f with y. Step 2, we make x the subject. So step 1, we buy y equals. Step 2, we make x the subject. Step 3, we replace x with f inverse of x. We replace y with x, getting the answer. Solve g, part B, g of 2x plus 1 is equal to 4. What he want, or does he want from us here? Only replace x in g here by 2x plus 1. You will be constructing or writing linear equation, simple equation. 10 over 2x plus 1 is equal to 4. By cross multiply, you will get 4 times 2x plus 1 is equal to 10. Divide by, it depends on you in algebra now. We may expand from here, we may divide. It depends on the student. What does he or what he prefers to do. So 10 over 4, which is 5 over 2. So 2x is equal to 5 over 2 minus 1, which is 3 over 2. Dividing by 2, which is 3 over 4. Or 0.75, as you wish. As you like. Part C, simplify. Simplify, given your answer as a single fraction. As a single fraction. F of x was, I will write it here again, is equal to 7 minus 2x. And g of x is equal to 10 over x. That only we'll do here. We write the values of functions. We have 1 over 7 minus 2x plus 10 over x, which is g of x. What do you do here? Only unifying denominators. Making denominators the same. How is this? You multiply this by x. You multiply this by first one by x. This that we do, you multiply this by 7 minus 2x over multiplying them by each others. So this is x, we're getting x plus 7 by expanding and simplifying the terms in the numerator. You'll be getting x plus 70 minus 20x over 7x minus 2x squared, x minus 20x minus 19x, so it's 70 minus 19x over 7x minus 2x squared. We said about the denominator, if we keep it like this is okay, if you expand it is right. But the numerator, in the numerator we must simplify and collect like terms, because we may have common factors and we may simplify it more. Part D, the last part for today. Find H inverse of 19,683. H of x was 27 to the power of x. What does the question want here? He wants what's the value of x so that 27 to the power of x equals to this. This is the meaning by H inverse. Like we are making x the subject, yes? So the idea here, you must remember that if you are given exponential value, this is called exponential equation. Remember this topic. Exponential equation. Exponential equation. So it has two sides. They are 27 to the power of x is equal to 19,683. Then directly what do you do in the calculator? We must write this with equal base. This that I did right here to you. Can I write this with equal base? What to do here? You try it in the calculator. You try it in the calculator. So you will be getting in the calculator that 27 to the power of 3 is this number. How do you do in the calculator? Of course, you divide this number. If some of you don't know, you just divide 19,683 by 27. You get a number once, you count them twice, 3 times. So you'll be getting that the third root of 19,683 is 27. This means that 27 to the power of 3 is the given number in the question. Simple like this. So you'll be writing this number as 27 to the power of 3. Last step, I must remember if the bases are equal, so the powers are equal. If the bases are equal, the exponents are equal. So x is equal to 3. I remind you quickly, because this is the last question, to not be fast here. For to solve an exponential, and remember, exponential equation, we have two cases. We have two cases, dear students. If we have a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n, the bases are equal, then the powers are equal. Or x equals to n is equal to y to the power of n. So here what we'll be writing in this first one, if bases are equal, then exponents or powers are equal. And the opposite is right. If exponents are equal, which is case 2, exponents are equal, then bases are equal. This is the idea to solve any exponential equation. Alright? I wish I'm helping you as you expect, especially in these times. If you don't understand anything, just send a comment, communicate. We can focus on the same topics or the same chapters in different papers. We'll be continuing with the next questions for tomorrow, inshallah, to do variant or different types of questions. As usually or as always, I wish you the best and your families. Be safe. Thank you so much.